This is Bob Capetta from the College of the Florida Keys, and this lesson is on the distributive property. Our first question is that 3 times 2x minus 5 times 4x minus 9. I like to change the minus signs to plus negative. So I'll make that plus negative here. I will make that plus negative here. Eventually, I'm going to change that one in the middle to plus negative. But first, I'm going to go ahead and simplify what is in the brackets. So we're going to distribute 3 times 2x plus 3 times negative 5. 3 times 2x will be 6x plus 3 times negative 5 will be negative 15. Minus, over on this side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to distribute. We're going to see how that's going to behave. Don't like that jumping around. 5 times 4x is 20x. Plus 5 times negative 9 is negative 45. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and change. I'm going to change that minus to plus negative. So this minus in the middle then becomes plus negative. Now you can think of that as a negative 1. I prefer just to think of it as a negative sign. We're going to distribute that negative sign to these pieces. So this first part stays the same. This first part is 6x plus negative 15 plus distributing the negative sign. The negative of 20x, the opposite of 20x is negative 20x, plus the opposite of negative 45 is positive 45. And then at this point, we're going to go ahead and collect our like terms. So we look for x's. 6x here, negative 20x there. 6x plus negative 20x is negative 14x. Now we look for the numbers. Negative 15 plus 45. 45 minus 15 is just 30 plus 30, and that would be our final answer. So let's look at another one that is a similar sort of problem, where we have to use the distributive property to simplify a statement. So this time I will go with 7 times x plus 5 minus 19 minus bracket 4 times x minus 6 plus 10 and let's see how this behaves. So same sort of thing. I want to go ahead and I want to change my minuses to plus negative inside. So that'll be a plus negative here. This will be a plus negative here. We're going to simplify each bracket. I have 2 pieces. We're going to simplify each bracket separately. So looking at the first bracket, distributing 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 5 is 35. So my first bracket becomes 7x plus 35 plus negative 19 minus, second bracket, let's distribute again. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. 4x plus negative 24 plus 10. And now let's simplify each of the 2 brackets. So we have numbers here. I have 35 plus negative 19. So this bracket becomes 7x. I have $35. I owe 19, so I have 16 more. That is 7x plus 16 minus, over on this side, we have negative 24 and 10. I owe 24. I have 10, so I owe 14 more. That will give me 4x plus negative 14. Once I'm at this stage, I will change that minus sign to a plus negative, and we'll distribute, distribute, distribute. So I get 7x plus 16 plus, distribute the minus sign. The opposite of 4x is negative 4x. The opposite of negative 14 is positive 14. So now I have 7x plus negative 4x, which is 3x. And then I have 16 plus 14, which is 30. And that is my final answer to that question. So now let's go ahead and let's use the distributive property to solve an equation. So rather than just a statement we're trying to simplify, we'll actually try to solve an equation. So here we go. Let's do 3 times 2x minus 1 plus 5 equals 2 times x minus 4 minus 9. So just in the last two problems we had brackets. Here we have two sides of an equation. And the process is going to be similar in that we are going to simplify each side of the equation first. So if I look at the left side of the equation, I'm going to make the minus sign a plus negative. And then we're going to distribute here on the left side of the equation. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. So this becomes 6x plus negative 3 plus 5. That is my left side of the equation. Now I'm going to look at the right side of the equation. Again, make the minus signs plus negative. Plus negative here, plus negative here. We're going to distribute again. 2 times x is 2x, plus 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, plus negative 9. Now again, we have the left side and the right side. Let's simplify each side. On the left side, we have negative 3 plus 5. That's going to leave me 2 on the right side. So I have 6x plus 2. Excuse me, on the left side, of course. On the right side, I have negative 8 here. I have negative 9 there, which is negative 17. That gives me 2x plus negative 17. So I've completely simplified the left side. I've completely simplified the right side. Now we've got to solve the equation. We have variables on both sides. Let's go ahead and get all of the x's on the left side. I will do that by subtracting 2x from both sides. Subtracting 2x here. And then what do we get? 6x minus 2x is 4x plus 2. Over on the right side, 2x plus negative 2x is 0, plus negative 17 is negative 17. Now my next move is, again, to solve for x. I have 4x plus 2. We're going to eliminate the addition, so let's subtract 2 from both sides. Subtract 2 here. Subtract 2 here. So that 4x plus 2 minus 2 is 4x plus 0, or just 4x. Negative 17 plus negative 2 is negative 19. And then we divide by 4. We divide by 4, and we finish with x is, it says 4x divided by 4, that's 1x, is negative 19/4. So again, that was using the distributive property to enable us to solve an equation. And let's try to do one more of those if we can. Slightly different. But the next one I'm going to do will be 3 times 7 minus 2x equals 14 minus 8 times x minus 1. We want to see the left side of the equation. We want to see the right side of the equation. We want to simplify each side independently first. So I'll change the minus to plus negative. Let's distribute. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 3 times negative 2x is negative 6x. On the right-hand side, we're going to change the minus to plus negative inside the parentheses as well as outside. And that's going to have to be distributed. So it will be 14 plus, Distributing the negative 8. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. Plus negative 8 times negative 1 is positive 8. So we have the left side and the right side of the equation. So let's simplify each of those. Left side doesn't change. Left side is still 21 plus negative 6x. Right side, we have two numbers. We have 14 here, and we have 8 there. 14 plus 8, 22 plus negative 8x. So let's get all of the x's on one side. So I'm going to add 8x to both sides to get all of the x's on the left. Add 8x here. Add 8x there. Negative 8x plus 8x, that's 0 on the right side. On the left side, we have 21 plus negative 6x plus 8x is 2x equals 22. Get the x's by themselves, so we will subtract 21 from both sides. Subtract 21, subtract 21. 21 plus negative 21, or 21 minus 21 is 0, plus 2x is 2x. 22 plus negative 21 is 1. To finish this, we're going to divide both sides by 2, and I get x equals 1/2. And that is the solution to that equation that required us to use the distributive property. And that will conclude this lesson.